Hello, children. It is I, once again, Wilbur Polyester, Sockfinder General Extraordinaire, here to report to you the continuing adventures of our young heroine KD as she accompanies the peculiar dragon-related Clyff Hanga and his clown half-brother Clanger on their quest through unusual magical realms to find their long-lost mother. Now, when we last left our three friends, it seemed as though they had succeeded in that mission, having braved and, with the help of a horde of rock goblins and some brilliant Hansel and Gretel inspired improvisation from KD, triumphantly traversed the surly, slurry-voiced Princess Elslur's amazing maze of sighs, an incredible, winding, labyrinthine maze of corn that would send you right back to the beginning of the maze if you dared release a sigh of frustration, and solve the riddle of the three doors at the very end of said maze. KD, Clyff, and Hiff now found themselves in what could only be described as some kind of sparkling, silvery, glittering, colorful birthday world. And let's not forget that all this is happening on KD's birthday, a fact that was not lost on our intrepid young explorer. Now, everywhere they looked, there were streamers and sparklers and balloons and even cupcakes hanging from trees. A beautiful singing sound led them to an even more beautiful lake where balloon animals frolicked and played, and there, beside the lake, sat the most beautiful, magical, mystical woman they had ever seen. Her long, silver hair blowing gently in a breeze, she perched as if in some private dream world, blowing up tiny little balloon animals. Clyff and Hiff recognized her immediately. It was her, their mother. Their cries of excitement and emotion seemed to rouse the woman from her trance-like state, and turning to them sleepily, her eyes widening slowly, she asked, "Hiff, Clyff, is that you?" So now, let us join our friends while this touching reunion takes place. Clyff and Hiff simply cannot help but fling themselves, weeping with joy, into their mother's trembling arms. KD wipes away a tear as she witnesses the coming together of a separated family. Of course, this made KD think of her own mother and father. They'd be mighty worried themselves if they came home to find KD missing, especially on her birthday, where no doubt they would have planned some kind of celebration, however small, to show their daughter their love. She approached the mother and her two sons, still clinched in a tight embrace. "Hey," she said quietly, I'm so happy for you, Clyff, and you too, Hiff, and you, She looked at the woman, who smiled back at KD with such tenderness she feared her heart would melt. "Ariana," she said. "Ariana, that's a beautiful name," said KD. "I'm KD." "Thank you, KD." "She helped us find you, Mother," said Clyff. "Then I owe you my thanks," said Ariana. KD smiled. "Well," she said, "I was thinking, now your boys have you back, I'd quite like to return to my own home. See, it's my birthday, you see, and I'd hate to think of my mom and dad worrying about me, especially today. Things haven't been easy lately." "Don't worry, KD," exclaimed Hiff. "We'll take you back now." He moved to get up, but was stopped when Ariana placed a restraining hand on his shoulder. "Wait," she said. "It's not going to be that easy." Clyff pulled himself together. "She's right," he told his brother. "Think, what was Mother doing when we arrived? Making balloon animals in a trance? She'd still be doing that if we hadn't found her." KD nodded. "That can't have been by choice," she said, wise beyond her years. "Indeed no," said Ariana. "After Elslur banished me to the maze of sighs, I thought I would be lost forever. but I remembered the sign at the start of the maze and was soon able to make my way through, although it took a great deal of time. My hair was black when I first entered. When I came across the 3 doors, I thought, at last, I was saved, but it was not to be. What happened? Katie asked. Something had gotten in, said Ariana. Something wrong. This place is supposed to be a place of joy. But it looks happy enough, said Hiff. Ariana waved at the scene around them dismissively. This, she scoffed. This is just somebody's idea of joy. The superficial trappings. She popped one of the balloons for emphasis. Happiness is not made of balloons and streamers, she said, nor cupcakes on trees. Just look at us, she said. Here we all are, sobbing our hearts out. Our joy, our real joy, made all the more potent by the sadness behind it. So whatever it is that got in here, began Clyff. Whatever it is, continued his mother, does not understand true happiness at all, other than as a useful bait for a trap. A trap? Cried out the 3 friends. Indeed, replied Ariana gravely. Had I not been weakened by my long ordeal within the maze, I might have fought off this glitter-plated, baleful influence. But as it was, I was easy prey. I succumbed to the saccharine relief of rest instantly. It is... Oh, she shook her head at the memory. It is most embarrassing. But what does it want? Katie asked. I imagine it's an energy leech, said Ariana with a shiver of revulsion. A foul creature that slowly feeds off a person's life force, draining them until all that is left is an empty husk. I do not know how long I have been here, but I can feel the magic that normally courses through me has been severely depleted. It is good that you are here. Free from its grip, I feel my power beginning to return. We're going to have to fight, aren't we? Said Katie. Yes, child, said Ariana. It will take some time before I am back to my full magical power. We will all need to work together. To escape? Said Hiff. Ariana shook her head. No, my son. We cannot only think of freeing ourselves from this place. We must free this place of the energy leech, finished Clyff. Suddenly, the sky above them began to darken. Look, cried Katie, pointing upwards. There! It comes, whispered Ariana. Around them, the cupcakes fell from the trees, green with mold. Balloons shriveled and withered, while streamers became nothing more than ragged, torn strips of colorless old paper. Above them, the sky now cracked asunder, and an oily smudge of darkness snaked down towards them, taking on the shape of an enormous, dark, blood-red, centipede-like thing that chittered and clacked the closer it got to them. Normally, I prefer to take my time with a meal, it hissed. But today I am prepared to make an exception. A little indigestion is not too great a price to pay for the convenience of a little fast food. Run, yelled Ariana, dragging her boys and Katie along with her as the giant energy leech coiled behind them. What are we going to do? Cried Hiff. Come on, said Katie. There must be something magical we can do. We weren't in the maze for very long, and neither of you used any of your clown or half-dragon wizardry, so you must be able to use your magic in combination with any your mom has to spare. I don't feel like sneezing, said Clyff. And I'm not sure a chocolate milkshake will stop that thing, said Hiff. We only need to create a distraction, said Katie. Something that will let us hide somewhere to make a real plan. Can't we combine what you have? Your friend is a quick thinker, said Ariana approvingly. Perhaps there is something. Hiff, how much confetti can you make? As much as I want. Excellent. Clyff, I know you said you don't feel like sneezing, but if I can conjure up a little wheat... Clyff began to laugh. Yeah, that will do it. What? Asked Katie. It's simple, said Ariana. Hiff will make a cloud of confetti. I cannot do much, but I can conjure up a little spell to make that confetti act as a variety of itching powder. Then we'll get Clyff to sneeze it towards the leech. While it's dealing with that, we take cover, said Clyff. And try to find if any of the original inhabitants of this place are still left, said Ariana, to aid us in our mission. Katie whooped. Let's do it, she said. I like your friend a lot, Ariana told her boys. Above them, the energy leech cackled as its prey seemed to give up and stop running. Tea time, it gurgled horribly. It prepared itself to strike when seemingly from nowhere a strange cloud of colorful, what was it, paper, came hurtling towards it. What is this? The leech snorted. How pathetic. It stopped. It screamed. The leech writhed in the air as its entire body suddenly began to itch with a burn and ferocity. What? The horrible creature fell to the ground, a twisted mouth scratching madly at itself, trying to make the sudden, terrible sensation go away. Katie and the others wasted no more time. They ran. But where to hide? Wait, shouted Clyff, coming to a standstill. What's that over there? He pointed to what looked like a flat, empty lawn. I don't see anything, began his mother. No, said Katie. He's right, look! As they all watched, a patch of lawn began to rise, like a trapdoor in the ground, which is exactly what it was. A small, furry little animal peeped its head out and beckoned at them to join it. They dashed towards the lawn trapdoor and inside, quickly, shutting it behind them when the last of them were down. Katie looked around. They were now in some kind of underground bunker. Maps and charts were pinned to the walls, and in the center of the room was a large table covered in papers. And all around them, scurrying this way and that were, well, she wasn't sure, but if you imagined a cross between a mole and a rabbit and a baby bear, you might get pretty close. The one they had followed down into the bunker turned towards them seriously, and in a surprisingly deep voice for something so small, cute, and furry said, "Welcome to the Resistance." Now, how that resistance pans out, children, you will just have to wait and see, for I myself am not yet privy to that information. Oh, but it is coming, my friends. It is coming. For now, this is Wilbur Polyester, Sockfinder General, signing off. Stay safe, children, and be wary, very wary, of cupcakes on trees.